Hey, it's Mark with Mark's Dodgers Cards. Well, I'm back from the National, and this is going to be my recap video. I went on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and had an absolutely tremendous time. Um, I pretty much hit all the goals that I was trying to achieve at the National, and I had a great time. I connected with a bunch of people on YouTube who I hadn't seen in a while, and that was awesome. The YouTube get-together was great. I roomed with my friend Jim, and we got to spend a lot of time together, walking the floor and talking about cards, and that was a lot of fun as always. And overall, it was a A-plus experience. I guess I'm going to show a bunch of my pickups and turn the camera around in a second. But before, just a couple of things about the National this year that I'll touch on that have been talked about some. One on prices. Yeah, I think the prices for, kind of golden era cards, T206s, things like that were high. There were some deals out there too, but yeah, those were overall high, I think. I was going to go for thinking about trying to get one bigger card. I didn't end up doing that. I got a bunch of oddball stuff and cards to fill my team sets, and those were all reasonably priced, and I think I did really well overall with that. There were definitely, you could get some good deals out there, but there was prices are high, and dealers had a lot of their overall many dealers had their cards listed high. Second thing, in terms of the layout, the show was absolutely massive. And the downstairs was terrific. There was a lot of space. I didn't feel like crowded or boxed in at all. You could really just see everything and spend a lot of time at various booths. The upstairs was a disaster. They had extremely narrow aisles. I felt very claustrophobic. I got a couple little things up there, but I just didn't want to spend any time there. I went there and basically just wanted to leave. And I feel bad for the dealers who were set up there, and the National really did them a disservice. The third thing, food. I used my brain this year, and I brought a lunch each day, and that was great. So I didn't have to worry about battling for food. There were vendors for sure, but I don't know. I just did my own thing and had lunch there. Fourth thing that I wanted to touch on was the corporate section is just massive. I didn't even really look at it, but it's a huge other section. And kind of took a little bit of time to get around the floor and kind of see where all the tables were actually in relation to each other, because there was some division between where the corporate and the auctions were, and then where all the dealers were, and there was another area on the side. But eventually figured it out, and that was all good. Let's see what else. Yeah, I didn't, in terms of my goals, I had set my goals of getting a bunch of filling my team sets with Opichi, Venezuela, Postcards, as well as some of the Topps and Bowman cards. I generally hit all that. There was not a lot of, I didn't see a lot of Venezuelan commons there, so didn't really do as well there. But of course, I didn't get to see, I didn't really look in depth at every table, so I'm sure there was. I just didn't get to that. I did add some, I wanted to add some more Zach Wheat and Dazzy Vance cards. I did that. You'll see them in a sec. I also added a bunch of exhibits cards, which I was really happy to find. And I got some other, kind of oddball stuff. I had brought a budget that was the biggest budget I've ever brought to a card show, because I recently sold a good part of my 1958 Topps set. So I had all that funds in addition to the budget that I'd allocated for the National. So I only spent about half of my budget actually. I just got tired at the end of the show, and I was, I saw some stuff that looked, interesting to me, but it wasn't something I just needed to have. And I figured I would save that budget for things that I really wanted, kind of higher priority items that I could find through a auction house or eBay or on, Facebook or whatever in the future. So still have more purchasing to do. And then the last thing I'll mention is that I had ordered a couple cards on eBay right before the National, and they arrived when I got home. So I'm going to include those in this, and I actually consider that part of my Nationals purchases because I got them all around the same time. All right, that is enough of that. I'm going to turn the camera around now and quickly go through the cards because, a lot of people are consolidating their collections. I bulked up at this National. I got, I think I got around 200 cards. So a lot of quantity. And so I'll go through that quickly. And then I'll also, of course, spend a little more time on the bigger and more unique items. So let me turn the camera around and show you some of that stuff. All right, here we go. I got this 1960 Venezuela Roger Craig in really beat up condition. I got this card. This is a strip card, W572. And it's a common, and I paid $30 for this. I don't remember what I paid. So this wasn't a part of a bulk thing. I don't remember exactly what I paid, but I made a deal. But anyway, I needed this one. I didn't realize these ones were so small. Yeah, add this to the Don Drysdale collection. I didn't have this scratch off booklet. This is Claude Osteen. Got a bunch of few Kellogg's cards. Here's Don Sutton, Ron Say, Davey Lopes, Wes Parker, Don Sutton. This is nice. I think I've completed the 1970 Dodgers team set now because I've got Singer already. Then I added this Golden Press Dazzy Vance, which I didn't have. And I've never had one of these new baseball scoops cards, and here's the Pee Wee Reese one. This set is really, really affordable, and I want to complete it and add more to it. There's a cool Jackie Robinson and Roy Campanella. So anyway, yeah, looking forward to that. Then I got all these are 1970 and 71 Fleer, which they made for the various World Series. So got 1916, 1920. They have different images for the different years. And I don't think I didn't get all of them, but there was one dealer who had just had a bunch of these, and I just went through and pulled all the ones where the Dodgers were in the World Series. So got a whole bunch of those, and then this is the 1971s. These are really cool looking cards and really inexpensive. I think these were listed at $3 each, and then I made a deal and I got them for like less than that. So, and they're in pretty good shape too. So yeah, I'm gonna have to create a checklist for these sets and see which ones I'm missing, because I didn't really look through all the years, and I have different numbers of 70 and 71, so clearly something's missing. And this is a sticker, that stickers were inserted into these sets, is my understanding. So that is the first bunch. All right, then I actually ended up getting a ton of cards from this dealer, JD, who I have bought stuff from before, and Sammy Thunder has a video where he interviewed him. He's got tons and tons of sets, and his stuff is all reasonably priced, and he's also got a lot of oddball stuff, a really interesting table, always. And so I think I went there like 3 or 4 times and got different things. So anyway, I bought a bunch of the postcards. So we're gonna start with 1961 Post. Wally Moon, Don Drysdale. I didn't have that one. Larry Sherry, Tom Davis, Duke Snyder. I forgot to make a list of these beforehand, so I actually ended up getting a couple commons that I already had. So that's why I make lists, but just a couple commons, not a big deal. Charlie Neal, for some reason I got 2 of these. That was dumb. Daryl Spencer, these are 1962s. Maury Wills, Tommy Davis. I also have the Koufax from this set already with the red. I think there's one with the blue border down here too, so I don't have that one yet. John Roseborough, John Padres, Jim Gilliam, and Duke Snyder. And these are all super reasonably priced. So I can't remember what I paid for them all as a lot, but yeah, pretty good. Maury Wills. And of course, these are all hand cut, so the borders are all a little jinky, but I think that overall these borders look pretty nice. Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale. And that's another Koufax I can add to the Koufax collection. Okay, so that is that. Then also from JD's table, I went through Bowman's and Topps from 1949 through 1955. Well, 55 tops. I don't need any 55 Bowmans, and I just got a bunch of them. So I'm just working on these team sets, and these are all, you know, pretty nice condition-wise. You know, these are all like, you know, kind of commons and some semi-stars. Like this is a Preacher Row here, as you can see, very sharp. This one is like, look at that. I mean, I could pause on each of these cards because they all deserve some attention, but I want to spare you the time. Here's a nice one too. I think this is Carl Ferrillo. Yep. So anyway, most of these I got from JD. I think there were a couple that I got from another dealer, but yeah. Oh yeah, the ones that I got from the other dealer are the ones with the price tags on them. I like to keep my cards in the Card Saver ones, so I transfer everything to a Card Saver one, so all my collection is kind of uniform like that. All right. Anyway, yeah, this is kind of like the condition that I like, you know, kind of mid-grade. But yeah, these look pretty nice. Also, these I did not pay the sticker either. Got a discount. So I got some 54s. Again, mostly commons, but here's a Junior Gilliam. I did not have this one. I still need his rookie, but I didn't want to pay the exorbitant prices on the ones that I saw there. Of course, I didn't do a real search for a rookie there. And then here's, I really like the 54 Bowman set. I think it's very underappreciated. Oh, these are interesting. There's two variations of Billy Cox. If you look at the back and you look under fielding average, this one says 1,000 and this one says 972. So that's the difference. So that's why I got those two. Billy Lowe's. And then I got some 55 tops as I slowly chip away at this team set. So as you can see, this is what I meant by when I say I was bulking up at the convention, going for a lot of cards here. All right, next we have some, I did get some Opichis. Again, I didn't pay these prices, but these are nice, 66s, and you can see the backs. See, in Canada. Walt Alston's a Hall of Famer, and I got some 68s, and the backs of the 68s is a different color, so that's interesting. I never had one of those before, so I didn't know that's what they looked like. And then here's a nice one, Don Sutton, Hall of Famer. And then got a couple 69s. And then one guy had a bunch of 1970s, so I got a bunch of 1970s. And I made a mistake and I got two of one of these. I can't remember which one, but that happens. Wes Parker. And then I got a few 72s. This is a cool card. And again, the back's just different color, printed in Canada. And then I got one 1977 card, and then I got every 1978 card. So this team set is donezo now. Nice Steve Garvey. Ron Say, Don Sutton. And then I got a bunch of 1979s. And here's what the backs look like. And it's funny, they have these notes on a couple of cards. All right, those are the Opichis. Now, to some of the other things that I got. All right, I got, also from JD, I got a couple of Kogan chips. I got Knapp Rucker. It does have some paper loss on the back. But yeah, happy to have that. And also Jordan. I got some pins. I think both of these were $30 each. These are the Sweet Capital pins. Let's see. I got one deal where I got these together for, I think, $3.50. This is a very nice T207. And then I got it with this card, which was a mistake actually. This is a 1933 Rittenhouse Candy, Babe Herman. Babe Herman, of course, was a great player for Brooklyn for several years. But then this card was produced after he left Brooklyn, so it actually doesn't, I don't need it really for a Dodgers set, Dodgers teams. So I'd be willing to get rid of it if anybody wants it. But anyway, I had this card included too. It's a pretty rare card, but so I'm not upset about having it, but it's kind of was a mistake. And then also with it, I got this card, which is Mecha double folder with Knapp Rucker and Jake Daubert on the back. All right, then I got, oh, here's another T207 that I bought raw. I can't remember what I paid for this, but it's in pretty nice shape. And then I also got this. I never had one of these, Star decal. I got this along with this Don Drysdale Topps Bucks card. And I think I paid $125 for the two of them together, but I can't remember exactly, but I think that sounds about right. And this, this is what the back looks like. All right, now we're getting into some of the bigger things that I got. Before, well, I also got, actually I forgot, I got this exhibit from one of those other dealers that I got a bunch of cards together with. So Don Newcomb, the shaking hands, there's another Don Newcomb pose also from the 47 to 66 exhibits. Okay, then I went to a dealer named Bill Chappell. A lot of people know who he is. I didn't know who he was, but I found his table and I was very excited to find it. And I got these 4 exhibits together for $370, I want to say. I have it written down somewhere. That might be right. Anyway, this is great. This is the 31 to 32 exhibit that's got Dazzy Vance and O'Dual. I never had an O'Dual, so this is my first one. And Dazzy Vance is somebody I wanted to pick up more of, and you'll see I did even more with him. And then I have this card, which has Herman on it. This is 31 to 32. And then both of these cards, these are 36 and 37. Both of them have Van Mungo. This also has Lindstrom, who had, I think, 1 year on the Dodgers. Yeah, these are pretty nice overall. And yeah, so I got those. And then one of the cards that I got before the National, this is one of the ones that came out on eBay, is this card, which is a 1929 to 1930 exhibit, which also has Dazzy Vance. And this is in it looks like it's in really great shape, like really great shape. But then you look on the back and there's a small wrinkle that goes through here. So it probably is more like, I would say, very good. But yeah, nice clean postcard back. The corners are great. I really like this card. So that's another Dazzy Vance that I added. Another one that happened before the National, this is another order off of eBay, is this 1922 W575-1, which I got off eBay. It was listed as a buy it now. I bought it. I had been watching it for over a month, and this is like the American Caramel card. I actually have I think 4 other cards that have him in the same pose from around the same time, but this is the blank back. Yeah, so I added this one to the Zach Wheat collection. Then I have a few more things, the bigger ones for me. I wanted to get a Zach Wheat domino disc, and at JD's table, he had some domino discs. He did not have Zach Wheat, but he had this one, so I got this as part of a deal, and this is Hummel, and here's the front, and this is the back, the domino, and this is in a very nice shape, and it's got the red. And finally, I did find a Zach Wheat at one of the other tables, and this is a blue, is that blue or green? My eyes are terrible, but anyway. When I saw this, I've been looking for one of these for 2 years. I almost jumped over the dealer's table and grabbed it. But I was patient and I made an offer and I ended up getting it for $225. But I'm very, very happy to add this. This was one of the items that was on my goal, and there you have it. Then our YouTube community is great. This card here, I've been looking for a while, and at the YouTube get-together, somebody told me that Sammy Thunder had it, and then I went up to him and he said, hey, I've got this card, are you interested in it? And he gave me a very nice deal on it, and I was just so happy to have added it. Thank you so much, Sammy. And I didn't mention everybody I saw at the show. I saw lots of people at the YouTube get-together on the floor, but shout out to Sammy. Thank you so much for helping get this card into my collection. And this is a postcard back, pretty clean, a little bit of schmutz here. That's probably why it's a 2.5 instead of a 3 or 3.5, but man, great looking image, and really happy to have this in the collection. Then, this is one of the bigger ones I got. I got this card, which is a turkey red T3 of George Bell, and this looks phenomenal. I like this set a lot. The artwork is amazing, and this is the 4th one that I have, and I thought the price was reasonable. It was listed at $350, and I ended up getting it for $300. And this is what the back looks like. And you can see there's a little minor, I don't know if it's paper loss or scuffing here and here, which is what holds it from being and here, which is what holds it from being a really high grade. But the front of it is just a lot of times they have chipping or big creases or chunks missing, and this one just looks phenomenal. So I added that. And next I want to share, I got this Golden Stamps 1955 book. I have to hold the camera up because this item's really big, but this is very clean. It's got Jackie Robinson. It has all the stamps stamped in there, as you can see. So, but it's really neat, and it's got the Jackie Robinson and Roy Campanella, and Gil Hodges, and also Sandy Koufax, and this is his rookie year. So this is a really cool item. I got it also from JD as part of the first deal I did with him, and very happy to have it. I think probably was $150 if you price it out with the discount. And finally, I got 2 non-Dodger items. I kind of collect Hank Greenberg as a side project, and I added these 2. These are 1936 Series 3 Wheaties, and you can see the back is a little bit messed up here, and it's also cut too close, but it's still a very clean, nice looking image. And then I got this one, which I think is just phenomenal. This is 1939 Series 12, and the back is pretty clean. So I got the 2 of these together for $205, and I thought that was of a great and very fair deal, and very happy to add them to my small Greenberg collection. I think I have 10 Greenbergs now. So if you stuck around, thanks a lot for checking out my pickups. If I saw you at the National, I'm glad I was able to, and if I didn't, well, maybe next time, and hope to kind of connect in the future. It was a great time seeing everybody, and a great time just looking and picking up cards. I was exhausted at the end, and now I have a lot of data entry in my database, my spreadsheet, to document my collection, and I gotta find ways to put it all together, store it, and I think maybe a future video will look at how I store all these cards. Anyway, thank you very much for checking out my National 2026 pickups, and catch you on the next one.